Well, friends, it looks like the Cotton Candy Super Special Parade of Confusion that was supposed to happen in Washington, D.C. today has been canceled. That's right, the trans group who had called the day the Trans Day of Vengeance has canceled this. You'll remember that even days after the gender pretender in Nashville mowed down 6 innocent people, including 3 9-year-old children, still stuck with this name, Day of Vengeance, even after the shooting. Their website says the time is now. This action will not be taking place Saturday due to a credible threat to life and safety. The safety of our trans community is first priority, clearly. Their community is the only priority. This threat is the direct result of the flood of raw hatred directed towards the trans community after the Tennessee shooting. Individuals who had nothing to do with that heinous act have been subjected to highly serious threats and blamed only because of their gender identity. Guys, this smacks and stinks of the exact thing we deal with in the gun community when somebody kills people. They blame all of us. Now this shoes on the other foot with these fools. This is one of the steps in genocide. Oh, really? And we will continue our efforts to protect trans lives. While we wholeheartedly believe in the mission and message we put forth for Trans Day of Vengeance, we must prioritize the safety of our community and the people that make it up. In an ideal world, we would have continued on in our defiance of the attempt to silence our rights to free expression. However, we lack the resources to ensure the safety of the protest and cannot in good conscience move forward with it in our continued efforts to preserve trans and non-binary life. We have notified the appropriate agency. Did you notice that nowhere in here they actually say that they condemn the gender pretenders mowing down of these innocent people? Did you notice that? Did you notice that their entire theme in this entire statement was poor us, poor me, everybody hates us, everybody wants to do us harm, poor us. They're literally commenting on an event that happened just a few days ago where one of their own killed innocent people because they hated Christians. Again, this is why the manifesto will not come out, because it will clearly state that this trans person hated Christians and wanted to kill Christians. So the same ideas that they are sitting here whining and crying about that they feel like they're getting targeted for is why one of their people targeted another group of people with different sets of beliefs. I have a real problem with this because they could have at least put a condemnation of their friend killing all those people just to at least appear politically okay. But they clearly don't care about it, and they're happy that these people died because they don't even reference it other than to make themselves look like they've been targeted unnecessarily as a result of that shooting. Now, to add insult to injury, it looks like they are actually including this gender pretender in with the, quote, victims. We had a gun control group storm the Tennessee State House holding up 7 fingers in some kind of weird solidarity that would signify their support of gun control because these victims died unnecessarily. But only 6 people were murdered that day. Only 6 people were murdered. They're holding up 7 fingers. This is the anti-gun left. This is not a bunch of trannies out there. This is the anti-gun left, including the killer with the 6 people that were killed. They're including this person as a victim. I'm curious, and you guys can humor me on this. Give me your thoughts in the comments down below. If this were a white Christian who had shot up a bunch of trannies, would we be holding 7 fingers up or only the 6? The news media is not innocent in this either. CBS executive actually banned the phrase trans when discussing this trans killing in Nashville, stating that they didn't want any unnecessary blame being pointed at the people. Again, I have to point back at gun ownership. Anytime people use a gun to kill people, they blame all gun owners. In this case, they're blaming gun owners, but they're steering clear and doing everything they can to not only steer clear, but redirect from the fact that a trans member did this because they hated Christians and they wanted to kill specifically Christians in this case. The White House is no different either. White House has put out statements saying that trans people are under attack. Let's just face it and put the facts out there like it. They are afraid to actually say that the trans people are mentally unstable because they have a voting bloc out there that right now they feel like they've cornered the market on. And if they say anything to make them mad, all these videos that we've seen with these wacko trannies coming out and crying and feigning some kind of outrage because there's a genocide. There ain't a genocide. You know what they're talking about when they say genocide? And I've been educated by a lot of people online on this over the last few days. This is not coming from me. I have learned this in the past few days. Because we all knew in the video that I put out a few days ago when they kept saying genocide, we're like, huh? Genocide? I don't know of any trans people who have been killed that didn't kill 6 people already and get mowed down by law enforcement. That's the only ones I know. I wouldn't consider that a genocide. It would appear that the genocide that we're talking about, or they're talking about, is the very fact that they consider when a person transitions back from being a tranny to their normal, actual, real gender, that is a genocide because they have left the tranny group. That's what they consider a genocide. And they also consider it genocide that because of like the state of Tennessee has done, where they do not allow forced drugs and forced mutilation of children at young ages. I'm not talking about adults. You do whatever you want. I'm talking about forced mutilation and forced drugs on these children to help them transition at an age when they don't even know what they don't even know what they want to eat for lunch, let alone what their gender's supposed to be. So they have ended that and not allowed those drugs to be forced onto these children. They consider that a genocide because they feel like that's stopping their numbers from multiplying because they're not going to let children unnecessarily be transitioned over whenever they're still trying to discover what the heck they are and who the heck they are. So that's what they call genocide. So again, we all knew that there was no killing of trans people. That's not a thing. They're not being bullied. Nothing is happening to trans people. They're actually bullying other people right now. Look, trans group, or whatever you guys call yourself collectively as a group, we don't care what you do. We honestly don't. As long as you leave our children alone, we don't care what you do. Stay out of our faces. You do your thing all on your own. Do whatever you want. Set your hair on fire. Put things in your butt. We don't care what you do. You have fun. Have fun. I don't need to see it. I don't run around parading how straight I am, right? I don't run in your face and tell you you have to accept me because I'm straight. Don't do it to me. And leave our children alone.